Hello, good morning. Welcome to the AM Show Sports segments. I'm Mavis Avornyo Falidi, a job lady, Vesda Papibi. General Manager of Dreams FC, Aminu Shado, has attributed poor attendance of the Super Clash President's Cup to the poor form of Hearts and Kotoko. Speaking on Sports Zone, Shado noted that the patronage would have been better if the two teams were in position to win the league.
Shocked at all. I mean, the facts are very, very clear, even through observation. There's across board aggregately, there's a significant drop in attendance to match venues of our various Premier Leagues. And I think Sicho mentioned something. There's a reason why fans will feel very comfortable to attend matches at the Jendu Park rather than go to the Esipon Stadium, even though it has a better feel or is user-friendly, even more than the Jendu Park. Now, back to this specific game, the Hearts and Kotoko. Yeah. I have come to the conclusion that for big clubs like Hearts and Kotoko, who naturally command some level of appeal and attraction, yeah, for you to stimulate that attraction to bring in the numbers, they need to have, is linked with results. And 2 seasons ago proves this. In the season where Hearts of Oak and Kotoko were vying for the Premier League, they were neck to neck. I think Hearts was first, Kotoko was second, I think 1 point difference. That's right. And that match was almost like a decider. Yeah. The Accra Sports Stadium was filled. It's the same venue, it's the same set of fans you are sending this brand to. Why is it that they are not going there? And I reckon, even if that match was played at 10 a.m., the stadium will still be filled up. Yeah. Because both teams were, prior to even playing that game, the last 5 games going into that game, they were winning. They were on a roll. Yeah. And the vibe and the feel about these clubs was there. So I wasn't surprised at all. I was actually expecting the poor attendance because in the lead up to this game, both teams have had very, very inconsistent forms. True. They are not winning at all. House of Oak in particular, the main story, the top story was about sacking
their
own coach. All these things doesn't bode well for a game of this magnitude. Okay, for other clubs, there are other peculiar reasons why we are not filling our stadiums. But then for these two big clubs, it's very, very clear. Once you get the performance, if you are selling, and Abuedu was selling really, really good entertainment football. Yeah. I remember when they played Olympics, and at the height of COVID, when there was 25%.
They broke the gate.
They broke the gate because the attraction was there. People wanted to see
the noisiest I've heard as a commentator in any game that I've run.
You get it.
Yeah. So I'll tell you an interesting story. 2 of my former bosses, and I can name names here. Samuel Atamensa, CEO of City, and Gabi Ochedako, where Gabi is an Olympics fan. You remember they went to present him at the jersey.
Yes.
They were trying to access the game.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I spent several minutes on the phone trying to tell them how to access the game, and they had tickets.
Yes.
They just simply couldn't get in.
Yes. Yeah.
Because of the sheer numbers that.
Yes.
It was the loudest.
And this is 2020. So at the height of COVID.
So for these 2 teams, it's clear cut. Yes, other things like marketing and all those things can come in. But when they are doing well and when they have consistent performance and the results are coming, the fans will troop in. For other clubs, it's a bit more complicated. For instance, my club, Dreams FC, is a Zongo club born in the Mamobinima Newtown Enclave.
True.
But we play our football 80 kilometers away from our fans.
Yeah.
We don't, our engagement with the township of Dewu is not as good as when we first went there. We do a lot of community engagement. Yeah. So now, if I look at the data clearly, fans trooping to watch Dreams FC has dropped significantly because we are not doing enough.
Enjoy sports series of Bush Resource Centers. Today, we focus on the Koforidua Youth Resource Center, a facility built to harness sports and talents in the area, has been taken over by weeds and trees. Here is reports by Fenso Tahiro.
Welcome to the Koforidua Youth Resource Center, or what you will soon find out is actually a Bush Resource Center. The project is located on the site of the Koforidua Sports Stadium and is part of the 10 youth resource centers, the construction of which began across the country in March 2018. And just like the 9 others, the project was to cost $1.8 million and was to house a standard FIFA football pitch, an 8-lane running track, basketball and volleyball courts, tennis court, an ICT center, and would seat 5,000 people. It was set to be completed and handed over in just 9 months. And though the initial deadline of December 2018 was never met, construction had begun on phase 1 of the project and progressing steadily. President Akufo-Addo toured the facility at the end of 2019 and was reportedly pleased with the progress of work. But after a brief hiatus following the coronavirus pandemic, contractors returned to site and completed the 4 different stands, furnished with seats, fixed the grass on the football pitch, and cleared the grounds for the running track. The work done so far was estimated at 90%, and just a fraction remained for phase 1 to be completed. But the contractor packed his equipment and left the site after failure to pay the remainder of his contract sum. Since the departure of the contractor at the end of 2020, all the work done has degenerated. The paint on the walls is peeling off. The seats on the stands have become dusty and the goalposts rusting away. The once lush green pitch has now been overcome by weeds, requiring a complete redo. A few months ago, this was a quality football pitch, looking green and lush, and it was actually fit enough to host football matches because the contractor working on the Koforidua Youth Resource Centre had done quite a lot of work and it was progressing steadily. But just a few months down the line, due to non-payment of contractual obligations, work has been abandoned, and now this Youth Resource Centre can rightly be termed a bush resource centre. It is right for me to say if you sent your daughter or your son to come and play football here, there's likelihood that they will get lost in this bush. Try negotiating, and it's quite hectic. It is a befitting edifice just to demonstrate our overall lack of focus and the wanton waste of scarce national resources. Obviously, this is the goalpost, and you might as well cut some of these grasses and erect them as goalposts because they are half the height of a goalpost that is looking distressful and quite rusty. Everywhere you look around this project, you can't help but weep for Mother Ghana. This is not what was promised. A project that was supposed to have been completed in just 9 months, 5 years down the lane, is worse than it was when it started. The project premises has also become a breeding ground for goats, while construction of the adjoining facilities like the tennis and basketball courts have been abandoned. Among the numerous facilities that were supposed to be here at the Youth Resource Centre of Koforidua was a basketball court and a volleyball court. This is a basketball court and a volleyball court. A 2-in-1 facility, and what you see behind me was supposed to be the volleyball net. At the moment, it's a dry line for sponges and for towels. Work on phase 2 of the project began at the start of 2022 and was due to be handed over by January of the following year. The scope of work on the second phase of the project include the fence, ticketing booths, as well as underground well, all of which are targeted at the self-sustainability of the facility. But even that is running behind schedule. Work at the Koforidua Youth Resource Center commenced 5 years ago to pomp and pageantry, with many people in the Eastern Regional Capital elated at the prospect of a world-class facility befitting of the sporting talent that has emanated from the region. But 5 years on, the wait continues as promises run dry and dreams are dashed. The Koforidua Youth Resource Center at the moment can truly be described as a world-class bush resource center.
That's it for sports. I'm Mavis Avornyo for Jobo Lady. Vesda Opapebi will come back with more of the AM show.